Impossible to cross an infinity. It is impossible to cross an infinite causal regress, and this is true for both a per accidens infinite causal regress and a per se infinite causal regress. Understanding the nature of causal chains and the concept of infinity is vital for addressing one of the most profound questions in philosophy and theology. Can there be an infinite causal regress, or must there be a starting point? Here, I will argue that it is impossible to cross an infinite causal regress, whether in a per accidens, accidental, or per se, essential, causal series. This impossibility reveals the need for a first cause or necessary being outside the causal chain, a foundation upon which everything contingent relies. 1. Understanding per accidens and per se causal regresses. In any causal chain, causes can be categorized as either accidental, per accidens, or essential, per se. Per accidens infinite causal regress. A per accidens causal series is one where each cause is contingent and could theoretically be replaced by another. For example, a family lineage where each parent begets the next generation is per accidens. Each individual's existence relies on the preceding cause, but none are essential for the series to continue. Thus, they pass causal power along without inherently maintaining it. Per se infinite causal regress. A per se causal series, by contrast, relies on the continual existence of all members of the chain to sustain the effect. Each cause in a per se series depends on the previous cause at every moment for its existence. A classic example would be a chain of links holding up a chandelier. If one link breaks, the chandelier falls because the causal power for holding it up is essential to the continuous support each link provides. 2. Why an infinite regress cannot be crossed. When considering infinite causal regress, a key logical problem arises. It is impossible to cross or complete an infinite series to reach any effect or outcome. This impossibility holds for both per accidens and per se causal chains. Per accidens regress. Imagine that each cause in a per accidens series has an infinite line of predecessors. Since every event depends on a prior cause, there would never be a first cause to initiate the sequence. With no starting point, the series lacks a grounding cause. Imagine needing an infinite number of steps to complete a marathon. Without a starting point, the marathon never begins, nor is it ever completed. Hence, any finite outcome, like our current existence, would be impossible. Per se regress. A per se causal chain is even more dependent on its prior elements. In such a series, each cause must exist simultaneously to sustain the effect. If each cause is contingent and dependent, then an infinite series of contingent causes cannot sustain a present effect without a non-contingent or necessary first cause. Imagine a train being pulled by an infinite number of boxcars, with each car pulling the one in front but lacking an engine. Without an engine to provide the causal power, the train would never move. For any present effect, an ultimate sustaining cause is necessary. 3. Illustrations of the impossibility of an infinite causal regress. Several thought experiments illustrate the absurdity of infinite causal regresses. Hilbert's Hotel. Imagine an infinitely large hotel with an infinite number of rooms, all occupied. If a new guest arrives, a paradox arises because we can move each guest down one room, creating space without adding capacity. Similarly, in an infinite causal chain, the notion of adding or removing causes leads to logical inconsistencies, as infinite sequences defy basic principles of addition and subtraction. The borrowed books analogy. Suppose every book in a library was borrowed from another without any book being owned. If no book exists as the original source, the chain of borrowing could never begin. An infinite causal chain works similarly. If each cause is borrowed from another cause, but there is no first cause, then nothing could ever come into being. 4. Implications of the impossibility of an infinite causal regress. The logical impossibility of crossing an infinite regress compels us to consider a first cause, a necessary being outside the chain of contingent causes that does not depend on anything else. This conclusion aligns with traditional arguments for a necessary being or first cause that is self-sustaining, such as God. Grounding of existence. The chain of contingent beings and events needs a grounding that is itself non-contingent. A necessary being does not rely on external causes for existence and, therefore, can serve as the ultimate foundation for all contingent realities. Maintaining the continuity of causal chains. In per se causal chains, there must be a cause whose existence is necessary to uphold the chain's continuity. This uncaused cause, being independent, must exist timelessly or eternally, providing the causal fuel for all existence without itself requiring sustenance. Resolution of the infinite regress paradox. The existence of a first cause that is necessary and independent resolves the paradox of infinite regress. It allows for a logically coherent universe where contingent effects do not infinitely regress but terminate in a source that exists by the necessity of its nature. Conclusion. The impossibility of traversing an infinite causal regress reveals the necessity for a first cause in both per accidens and per se causal chains. Without a first cause, no causal chain, accidental or essential, could ever produce a current effect, let alone sustain reality as we experience it. This line of reasoning logically implies that there exists a necessary, self-sufficient being, the first cause, capable of initiating and sustaining the cosmos. Whether one calls this first cause God or a necessary being, the philosophical evidence supports its necessity to avoid the absurdities of an infinite causal regress. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and comment below if you agree or would like to add your thoughts. If you would like me to respond to your comment, please make a level 1 comment directly below the video. I will respond to all polite level 1 comments even if it takes me a while, due to other commitments.